Today we're going to talk about what we think are some of the top 5 reasons you could ruin your cruise experience.
Yep. Okay, so when it's coming to your vacation time, you're trying to plan everything down to a T. Well, there are things that can happen on a cruise that you want to make sure you're prepared for.
Now, we've been cruising for close to 20 years, 25,
At 20.
20 years, and you've got well over 30 cruises. I've got about 30. So we know a little bit about what we're talking about. We might not be extreme experts, but we've seen it all.
We've seen a lot.
So you plan all this time, and you get ready, you go on your cruise, and then there's some of these things you wouldn't even think about, or maybe they're trivial. Maybe the person you go on a cruise with snores real bad.
Good.
I mean, that could ruin your cruise right there. You're up all night because this person, maybe your spouse, whatever, snores. So here's a freebie. If your spouse snores and they have a CPAP, make sure you pack it. We're not even going to count that one in the top 5. That one just kind of hit me. So we're going to count them down from 5 being the least, and 1 being, I think, probably one of the worst things that could happen.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
make sure you stay to the end and hear what that number 1 is. So we're going to do a quick intro, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm Larry.
And I'm Sansi.
And this is our dog Bella. You'll see her in a lot of our videos, normally catching the ball behind us when we throw it. We got a trailer in the way today.
There she goes around it.
Our channel is ForeverHuff'sLiving. It's basically a vlog about our retirement life, really. We try to travel a lot. Sometimes we'll hop a plane.
Maybe take a cruise.
We like to cruise. We got a 5th wheel.
Yeah.
We use our 5th wheel every now and then. And sometimes we just vlog about what we're doing around the house here, what project we have going on. And normally there's a project. So look, we're glad you stopped by our channel. We hope you will subscribe. We're glad you stopped by our channel. We hope you'll subscribe and become one of our loyal followers. Yeah.
And now, back to the video.
So number 5, we'll start with number 5, and it's not, I don't guess it could ruin your vacation, but it could cause you to be just, So when you go on a cruise, you're not at a port every day.
No.
You have some sea days in there. Well, you got to have something to do for those sea days. And our recommendation to make your cruise kind of smooth and joyful and all of that is go ahead of time and kind of plan those sea days out. Like this is what we're going to do while we're at sea.
You can bring games. You can go lay out.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like all the noise of, and there's nothing wrong with kids. I'm not just saying, because there are some rowdy adults. If you just want to, kind of a quiet place to go, Serenity.
Yeah.
If you want to just go read a book, you can go inside. There's quiet places inside that you can go read. Mm-hmm. There's
maybe that'll be your casino
games.
day.
Could be your casino day. Well, a lot of people do sit in the casino. Bring games. You could bring cards, dominoes, all kinds of games.
We play instruments. We take our instruments with us, and on sea days, we'll find a quiet place somewhere and we'll sit and play our instruments.
We also bring games.
We bring games, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that the ship doesn't have a lot to offer. They have a lot to offer, but the point is you don't want to on that day be kind of, wandering around trying to find what are we going to do today. Just go ahead and plan it a little bit ahead of time.
Some people want to sleep late.
Maybe you want to do a specialty dining. Maybe you want to plan that for that evening on a sea day. Just kind of plan your sea day a little bit. We think that will help you to enjoy your cruise a little bit better. Want to tell them what number 4 is?
Packing. Don't overpack. Some of us still hadn't got that down.
No, we do overpack a little bit, but look, here's the reason you don't want to overpack. And there's a couple of things here. One is you're going to find yourself moving your luggage at some point, either getting on or getting off, or then you've got it in your room. There's rooms are not huge, so you got to keep that in mind that you have limited space, and you're going to leave the ship with more than what you brought on the ship by way of souvenirs, or you like to buy some clothes at some of the ports. They have some pretty good deals out there. So so keep that in mind when you're packing. You might want to leave a little room for stuff that you buy while you're on your cruise.
And most everybody's suitcase does have wheels. If you carry a luggage that does not have wheels, I can't remember. Some ports getting on or off the ship is uphill.
Yeah.
Then you have escalators. You have to carry your luggage down, and it's difficult if you don't have wheels.
Make sure you have good luggage with wheels on. That old school stuff, you do not want to try to carry luggage around, especially if you've overpacked that luggage and it weighs 400 pounds. So that's another thing. And then it seems trivial, but I promise you, if you have to drag that stuff around, and it's a fight getting on or getting off or at the airport or wherever, I mean, it just starts you off in a foul mood right off the bat. So,
because it's heavy, and
it's
a long, because it don't just go from the ship here; it goes from the ship like this.
Yeah, and usually going up. And then you had to fight getting elevators and all that kind of stuff. Now, when you get on the ship, they will take your luggage for you.
If you want them to. I've seen lots of people.
I've seen people try to take their own.
And then if you do that, then you have to hang on to it until 1:30 before they'll let you get in your rooms. So that's, and there are some ships that, like when you go to Lido to eat lunch, it's kind of crowded, and you've got all this luggage trying to make room for, and people to sit.
And if you pack too light, that's not a problem. There's laundry services on the ship. You might have to pay a little bit for it.
And they also have the laundry.
Some ships have a laundry mat where you can go do your own. Now it's coin operated, and you'll still have to.
Well, if you can get to use it, a lot of people use it, so you might have to wait in line.
But packing light is better than packing heavy. So we're going to say packing is a big deal. Number 3, do your research when you pick your room. Now this is a big one. This can ruin your vacation. What do you think people need to do as far as picking a room?
Well, over the years I've learned, you get on there and you look at your ship layout.
When you say get on there, you mean like
on the
their
computer,
website.
on the website, on whatever ship.
Yep.
You look at the ship layout. The best thing to do is to find a room that's got rooms above it and below it. That's the best thing, because sometimes you don't have a choice. You have to take what they give you.
Right. One of our worst cruises, let me go ahead and tell this story. One of our worst cruises, we were right below the gym, and it was treadmills right above our room.
And that was a long cruise because we did 21 days.
And people were running. I mean, you can just imagine in your bedroom with a treadmill on the ceiling, and someone up there running all the time. And then...
Well, no, wait. So they close it around 10.
I was just fixing to get
They close it at 10, and then they open it to the workers.
I was sitting there. I knew they closed the gym at 10 o'clock, and I was watching the clock. I was waiting. I'm like, in a few minutes, all this will stop. And at 10 o'clock, it just kept going. Boom, boom, boom.
And then they open it back up early. So if you want to sleep in...
Well, when she say late and early, she's talking about, for this particular ship, for the crew. Because I called at 10 o'clock. I said, hey, it's 10 o'clock and people are still running on treadmill. They said, oh, yeah, we open for 2 hours for the crew to get their workout in.
Right.
So it went late. So we're giving you that tidbit from experience. We got very little sleep on that cruise.
And then early, 6, I think, is what time they open at night.
Yeah. So you want to look at the layout of the ship, and we look at several things. We like to be towards the middle of the ship. We want a cabin above us and a cabin below us. You don't want to be up under the stage. You don't want to be directly up under Lido. You don't want to be up under the gym. Just things like that you want to look at. And we like being
the dining room, because they always down there doing
dishes
stuff.
rattling, they're rolling those carts, and anyway, so that's just a tidbit. If you're
Earplugs.
if you're in one of those rooms with all that noise going on 24/7, it can make, to me, an unpleasant experience. So we're very particular about where we select our
Sometimes I
room.
don't have a choice. I have to take what's left if I'm booking late.
Yeah.
Best thing to do is book early.
And we like to be close to the elevators, not right next to them, but a couple of 2 or 3 rooms down, so we don't hear the dinging of the elevators. But when we come out of our room,
And we have been in that
a
first
few
room and
steps,
never heard the
we're at the
dinging.
elevator. Yeah. So that's kind of a big one there. Okay, now let's talk about money. Yeah. So budgeting for the cruise. If you've never cruised before, you're going to spend more money than what you paid for the cruise.
You can spend more money.
You can go cruise and not spend any more money, but as a general rule, you're going to end up spending more money. You're going to buy some pictures. You're going to spend a little more in the casino than you thought. If you don't have the drink package, you might have a few more drinks than what you thought you were going to have. You might spend a little more. You might
On the
decide to do an
milkshakes.
excursion that you wasn't really planning to do, but it just looks so great. And you're thinking, I'll never come here again. I want to do it while I'm here. So as a general rule, you're going to spend more money than what you figured, than what you paid for the cruise. So go ahead and budget a little extra money for this vacation or cruise that you're doing.
And we know most of you probably already do that.
Yeah. But if you don't,
if you think you're going to spend $500,
budget $1,000.
take $1,000.
So they make it easy. Your room key is your selling sign card, and I'll just go ahead and say we do Carnival most of the time, but we have done others, and it's the same process. Everything's on that room card. It's tied to one of your credit cards, and so you can
also
do all
put
you
cash
want.
on it.
And you can put cash on it, but yeah, you can do all you want. And some people are really surprised at the end of the cruise, over a week's time, how much money they spent. When they get that final bill, it's a shock to some of them how much money they spent. So go ahead and figure that in.
One thing that's a shock to some that have never cruised before would be anything you order while in port, the day you get on, is taxed.
Yeah.
You're being taxed, and the gratuity is added.
Right. Once you get out in international waters, there's no tax.
There's no tax. Your gratuity is there
usually,
too.
if you're in port and you're getting drinks and stuff, there's some taxes put on there. Another thing, and this is a freebie. Put your phone on airplane mode, because there are some towers out there and in these other countries, and your phone will work, but it's on those towers, and you're going to be hit with some really heavy roaming charges. So unless you've set up an international plan with your carrier, I say as soon as you get on the ship or as soon as you set sail, go ahead and put your phone on airplane mode so that doesn't happen to you. That could be a huge bill that you won't see for a little while. So that's a freebie. Okay, so we hope you've stayed with the video this whole time. So now we're up to the number one and probably the biggest thing that could ruin your vacation, without a doubt, and it's time management. And what we mean by that, if you're flying in to get on a ship, we recommend you come in the day before. Don't come in the day of.
Right. And if you have a long drive, also come in the day before, because...
Look, don't let a flat tire or engine problem.
Well, I mean, what if there's a really bad wreck on the interstate? And it backs up for hours?
And we all know that dealing with the airlines, weather plays a lot in that. Your maintenance. We've all been on flights that got delayed for either weather or maintenance or whatever. or canceled altogether, and then now you're the next day trying to, get another flight, or maybe it's diverted because of weather. You went to a different airport. Now you got to get, just a whole lot can happen. And if you're not there when that ship sails, well, you talk about ruin a vacation. You just ruined a vacation that never got started.
And the best thing to do if you're going to fly in is go through the cruise line to pick the flight.
Yeah.
Because they will work with you on that. And if they cancel the cruise for whatever reason, I mean, we've seen Carnival here recently on the Vista canceled. And people had flights, and of course they do kind of work with them, but it's better if they've booked through the Carnival.
Yeah, you're more likely to get some relief there to help you with that. Now, along the lines of time management, also the flight thing, that's also for debarkation when you get back. Don't plan a flight to go home for 8 o'clock in the morning, because you're probably
Or
not
even
going to be
10.
not going to be off the ship and to the airport that quick.
Because you also have to think about delay on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was our last cruise? We had to make a stop to drop a person off because they got sick.
Had a
That
medical
was
problem.
was unexpected. We weren't on our way back in, but it could happen on your way
It could
back
have
in.
affected us. So I've seen a lot of cruise ships get in late because of
Fog,
propulsion
sometimes
problems,
fog.
weather. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. So on the time management with flights, even your flight going back home, make sure you put that far enough out so you have plenty of time to get off the ship, get to the airport
Without stress.
without the stress. Now, I guess the third part of time management is when you're at a port. You can get left at a port. And when you get left at a port, it's on you to find your way home.
Unless you're on a Carnival, not Carnival.
Well, they won't
I'm
leave
just saying cruise ship
Generally,
excursion.
yeah, generally, if you book your excursion through the cruise line, if it's late getting back, they'll wait on you. But if you get off the ship and go do your own thing, which most people do, a lot of people do, a couple of things can happen. One, a lot of times ship time and the local time are different.
Yeah.
They're off by an hour, maybe 2 hours. Some ships change their ship time as they change time zones. Some ships don't. We've been on both. But look, when you get off the ship, make sure you're back at least an hour ahead of time. I would plan to be back at least an hour ahead of time. You don't want to be that pier runner.
Because we're going to be cheering you on.
Yeah, we're going to be up on top of the ship rooting for you and hope you make it. And we're going to be laughing because you're running, especially at Cozumel. That seems like that.
That's the best one.
That dock, that's a long dock. And there's almost always pier runners. Now, very seldom do people get left. I'll just say that. But it does happen.
It has happened.
The ship, they're not going to, they got an itinerary. They got a time they've got to meet for the next port. So
And
they're
also,
gonna go.
they do have a time limit in port. They have to be out of there at a certain.
Yeah.
They only have they can't just sit there for hours and waiting on somebody to decide to mosey back.
So time management is our number one thing that we think could absolutely ruin your vacation. So now these are just our opinions. There's other cruise people out there will tell you other things. And there are some other things that can ruin your vacation. But this is just 5 that we thought about that are fairly common.
Yeah.
And that are avoidable, and we thought we'd share them with you.
Well, overpacking's not really going to ruin your vacation.
I don't know.
Underpacking maybe, not overpacking.
You drag all that weight around.
Well, you drag it around. That's heavy, but.
So a travel agent can help you with a lot of these things. They've done a lot of. Normally, they've done a lot of cruises, and they know these things, and they can help you with them. My wife here is a travel agent. We're not doing this video to try to get her any. We don't care. You can do it. You can book it right through the cruise line, or you can use a travel agent, or however you want to do it. I will put her email down below, and if you want her to help you out with a cruise, that's fine too. But we're not here to do that. But anyway, we've shared our top 5 things that could ruin your cruise. So now that we've shared that with you, we're going to share links to some cruise videos that we've done that we hope you'll watch us. So, see you.